Well, look who's back.
Hello,
It's happened.
people.
Tax
I'm
season is
back.
over.
Tax season is over. And I am back to
Good
tell some
time
tales.
and good timing too, because I am burning out. Oh my folks. Can you believe how long it has been? Can you believe it? She's back.
I'm back. It's been like, what, 4 months, I think?
Has it feels
Well,
like it
because
could
I
have been
still was running in January. I think I
feels like
ran.
feels longer.
I know, it does. It feels super long. Like when I was
Used to be
doing
much.
Jerry at Twitch last Wednesday, I was like, how do I do this again? I don't remember. It's been ages.
Ah. Well, you're back though. And Tooth and
I'm
Claw is
back,
alive
though.
once
Yes.
again.
I am back and I am here to tell some tales of
Yes.
William Ravelowe
William has been
and
holding
his
a
coterie.
a bleeding out bro for like 4 months,
Yep. Oh,
just
yes,
waiting.
that's where we left off. Yep, he's been, for 4 months, he's been holding a dying Nux in his arm.
But yes,
Uh,
so I
so
suppose for
we should
those
probably recap.
yes, for those who haven't been keeping up with the last episodes, and I suppose we should probably post links next time.
There's
It's yes,
links.
exactly, Erica. Absolutely a cliffhanger, which was totally the design. Um, but yes, we'll provide links to anything you need to catch up.
There
Please
are
remember.
links if you go to the About section in the currently viewing. There's a link to all the Tooth and Claw YouTube. So
I
there
believe
are links. I put them there.
we also have a link to the listen along for our
Yes.
Spotify channel. So it's not for profit. Don't sue us. And yeah, aside from that, a recap.
Recap.
So uh, taking
Back
place
to the
in
beginning.
Vampire the Requiem, not Masquerade, folks. They're two different games. They're like cousins, but they're not the same person. Um, Ventrue, Dragolescu, Ghost Hunter, and Man About Town, William Ravelowe, has recently discovered that his absolutely effed up sire has used Dominate to gaslight his memories badly enough that he, one, can't exactly, Erica. Uh, has one, he can't trust that all of his memories are in fact his own. Two, he cannot always trust that he's in control when things happen. And this is placing him at risk. It's placing those he cares about at risk, his touchstones, his coterie mates, and his royal self. So he has endeavored across Europe, joined a secret sub society of the Ordo Dracul, a secret society of vampires dedicated to overcoming the limitations of their condition. This particular group is devoted to some of the more esoteric disciplines within their order, and this
Specifically following
specifically, a,
Anushka.
a yes, a path which celebrates and nourishes humanity. Some seek to transcend their vampiric nature and become human once again. Others would like to become vampires that don't have to let go of their essential humanity and instead become more symbiotic with humankind than parasitic, which, if you've ever read anything in this setting, everything sucks. So vampires are very parasitic. Um, so they led him to search for someone called the Keeper. The Keeper allegedly is a scholar of vampiric memory and blood memory and stuff like that. This has led to a lovely chase up and down Europe, which has taken them from London to Poland into castles and clubs and Nazi gold trains. It has taken uh let's see, it's we've mentioned other places, but I know that most
Uh,
recently
You're in
Now
Italy.
they're on a submarine
Mhm.
in waters unknown. At
Yeah,
least
you went from London to Poland and dealt with all of the Nazi gold train and the worm's nest that was there in Poland.
the mock
And
wolves.
then, yep, the mock wolves and Alexei. Then you went back to London, where you took place in an Ashford. I can never remember which one it is.
I think it's Ashwood.
Ashwood Abbey.
I think
Um, a tournament called the
Ashford.
Gauntlet. Ashford Abbey. Okay. Tournament where you got a skull of a dead ancient vampire.
Right. Who is
Or
not in
well,
fact
not
Eon
necessarily
Dragolescu.
right, who is yes, well, we don't know who it is. No one but you got it for one of the Aegis Kaidoro, I think.
Yes.
I can't remember what he well,
Maybe.
he was a hunter. That's all you knew. I
Yeah.
don't remember which group he's with, but he
He
knew.
was he could have been Aegis, he could have been one of those Tule guys.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, so I've been working with
Right.
hunters even who to
Yes.
get weird ass artifacts for their weird ass collections, weird ass humans.
Yep. And
But this
then
is
from there, sorry, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
no, I was just gonna point out the cast.
Okay, yeah.
Uh
Then, well, from there you went to the Vatican, Vatican City,
oh yeah,
where you ran into your old prince of New Orleans. He's no longer prince in our setting.
that's Vidal for the people
Yes,
playing at home.
but yeah, Vidal, Prince Vidal, who was Prince of New Orleans, but stepped down and left the throne to William's current, former girlfriend,
Pearl
Pearl
Chastain.
Chastain. And from there, you found yourself. Oh, yeah, you had to be put to sleep by another person from William's past. The famous coroner of New Orleans, Dr. Michaels, who is human, we
Big
think,
question marks.
human, and knows way too much about Kindred, like way more than he's supposed to for a human.
All true. Um,
And, oh,
woke up
but
on a
before that, you
submarine.
had to find a Tismanu to help the keeper.
Yes.
Yes, but then you all woke up on a submarine.
Yep. So there are Eastern Orthodox confessor vampires. There are uh uh crap, what's the name of that bloodline that helps people in torpor with their dreams?
Libertinarius.
Yes, Libertinari. Um, but our little crew includes I know. Yeah, Erica's like so much happened. Yes, it was a lot. Um, let's
Yeah,
see.
there was a
First
lot,
off,
but we've got highlights for you on our YouTube channel.
so there is Nux, a gangrel who should probably evoke elements of Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer in your mind. Nux is a gangrel badass who was once tortured into forced evolution by my sire, Josephine. He and I are best bros, even though we are an odd couple in the extreme. He's very much Brit punk biker in a long coat. There is my child, Rose, who was a witch descended of Salem stock, who
But
through
not
some
which Salem stock, actually. She's descended from one of the judges.
yep. But she is herself a witch, or was before she was taken against her will by our enemies in New Orleans. And in order to lift her out of being a revenant, I offered her the embrace. So she is my child. Super damn gothy, extremely bitter. Think Raven from Teen Titans or uh, April Ludgate from Parks and
From
Rec.
Parks and Rec.
You know, pretty much anything that Aubrey Plaza has played, essentially. There's my Ghoul V, a former club owner, but after Hurricane Katrina cashed in and is now just basically running around playing Major Domo. I try to be as nice to her as I can, but she did once try to have Rose killed. They're okay now, but ghouls are complicated. Um, and why don't you cover the last one?
Juliet.
Yes, Juliet.
Uh, Juliet. She's Nux's child, actually. She was also tortured by Josephine with Nux, to try to, change the kindred condition in different ways, which you'll get to see more of in the memories. Um, think Drusilla from Buffy.
I picture a
She's
different
so
actress, but yeah.
not that actress, but like that personality.
So she's
Well,
insane.
no, she's not in. I
It's
roughly based
not
her
her.
off of her. She can see the future. She's kindred. She's kind of like a weird, eerie Mary Poppins.
She is not the gangrel you would expect a gangrel to be.
No,
Insofar as there are stereotypes of clans, she doesn't come off very gangrel.
no.
There's also
But
an
she
implication
dresses like Drusilla.
that makes sense. Um, there's an implication that there may be something between us, but those memories are denied to me. Um, so yeah. When last we left off in the submarine with the Tismanu and the Libertarius and everybody, I was laid down on a slab and
Your boy
basically,
Nux was next to you.
yep, and he is going to be my partner as we do a deep dive into my own subconscious. I'm going to learn under duress a much more extreme version of what is it, the mind of the consuming worm?
The mind of the devouring worm.
Devouring worm. I was close.
And there's
Um,
something else too, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
well, you got
I don't
notes.
have that notebook. It's not, but I do. It's just the notebook's not with me right now.
It's don't tell them that. We're on the air. Nothing's an accident. Everything's going according to plan. It can be a fire off stage. They don't need to know that. So,
Hmm.
but yes, we started diving into my memories, which we've explored a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be much more extreme because of the blocks that have been set up.
Yeah.
Effectively, Josephine has left a fragment of herself, a mental construct floating in my subconscious to stop me or anyone else from remembering things right. So we have to go deep into my mind and my soul and fight this bad thing that's been left in my head, which may be cathartic for me as a player. So,
Yeah, the idea is that you have to try to find as many broken memories and fix them as possible to weaken the construct. And once it's weakened enough,
fight it in the realm of my own
right,
subconscious,
yeah, you have to fight it in the realm of your own subconscious. And then, like, you're not going to fix every single memory, but you'll have the tools. Like, you'll have the memory palace and the mind of the devouring worm
which I am
and
looking
certain
forward
other tools to work through it on your own, because we're not going to go through every single William memory. That would take forever. Just some
It's true.
important ones and some non-important ones to throw people off the scent of what's important.
And as a side bonus, you guys will get a little glimpse at some of the campaigns that happened before we started the show.
Yes.
All right. So,
All right.
so the last
So,
thing that happened was uh the construct in my head had dealt some rather grievous, potentially fatal wounds to my boy Nux, who is currently occupying these dreamscapes with me as like my partner and anchor because we such bros.
mhm.
So yes, I'm in the midst of a swirling misty maelstrom as I remember it. And he got what, shot or stabbed or something, but he's bleeding bad.
You were in. So the first time you tried to go in your memories in the very first episode of this saga, you got put in this kind of like weird desert plain, and that's where you are now. You've been shifted to this weird, like, it looks like a desert.
Day or
And
night?
but the sky, well, the sky is like a weird dark purple. And there is light, but there's also not light. It's it's an unnerving area.
It's the weirdness of dreams.
Like the sky looks like it's night, but the land looks like it's day, and there's a lightning in the distance, and dead trees and cacti. And while you were there, you fell there, but Nux wasn't there right away.
Hmm.
He appeared and was like, "Where the hell did you go?" And then Josephine, the construct in your head, stabbed him and then pushed him into your arms, and he's laying there bleeding. It's not stopping. And if this was a TV show and the camera panned over to reality on the submarine, he's actually bleeding out, and Juliet and Rose are frantically trying to stop the bleeding while the and because Kindred don't that doesn't like really bleed out unless they force it to.
Yeah. So
And
somewhere
he's
in
not
his subconscious,
forcing his
something is
yeah.
forcing him to, because he's linked into
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Not that I know that.
No. But
No.
he's essentially dying, and the Tismanu and the Keeper are trying to wake you two up. And that is where we left you.
Okay. Um, First off, just I should probably make some resolve plus composure roll to not freak out, just to have a clear head. So that's 7. I'm assuming I don't get meditation bonuses.
Not here.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
You're barely keeping it together.
Okay. Quick rundown of how things work. Um, am I breathing? Am I sweating? Am I acknowledging things like when I was alive, or do I still feel like a vampire here?
Um, you still feel like a vampire in the sense that, like, the tricks and stuff you've learned as a vampire, like dominate and all of that, like, you feel like it's still able to be used here, but it feels like it would take much more effort, and that it's not even necessarily worth it here because these are memories,
True.
and you don't want to alter your memories.
Yeah, well, this didn't happen, so we're in something that isn't a memory. Um,
You're in a construct created by the Josephine
exactly. I'm
construct.
trying to figure out what the rules of this reality are so that I can play by or break them.
Okay,
Um,
well, why don't you figure it out by trying things as William?
that's the idea. That's
Role play.
what you think I'm doing. Okay, so second, um, what just at my character is smarter than I am, so which is always hard to play. What would make more sense if I tried medicine for him, like if I tried to like staunch his bleeding or something, or would giving him my blood possibly give him the opportunity to heal, or like
So,
should I just tell myself it's a dream really really hard and try to stop this from happening?
so if you remember, you do hear the Tismanu telling you that you need to wake up, that you need to take a deep breath and wake up, focus and wake up. Like
Fuck
you
it.
can still hear him talking, and he says you then hear him say, but to answer your question, giving him blood or trying anything like that might not will most likely not work, just based on the fact that he yeah, if he got stabbed in real life, whatever, he would not be bleeding out. It would just be a wound, and after Nux, because Nux is a special boy, went to sleep, it would heal. He
Right.
can't just heal it on his own.
Right. Okay.
But
Gonna try real hard to wake up then.
okay, so you hear the Tismanu counting backwards. He says he's going to count backwards from 10. And when he reaches 1, you will wake up.
Is there any like danger during this countdown?
You don't see Josephine anywhere.
Okay, then just
Okay.
count down and keep an eye out.
Yep. 3, 2, 1. And you suddenly eh, oh, bye, Kevin. The usual drop off I see still happens.
2, 1, 45 minutes.
I was like, that was good timing though. You're right, Erica. That was great timing.
Wow.
3, 2, 1.
All right, let's hit it. Okay.
Okay, so you wake up, and Nux sort of wakes up, but I mean he's he's lost a lot of blood, so he is awake, sort of. I mean his eyes are open and he's like sort of mumbling or trying to talk. Bleeding has stopped coming out.
Okay, he is no longer actively bleeding. Good. So I will, yeah, does it look like everybody's got it under control?
So sorry, can you hear me? My speakers got unplugged.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, there we go. I plugged them back in. So, okay. Oh, the technical difficulties. This I don't miss. Okay, I'm sorry. What were you saying? Because I couldn't hear.
So does everybody else look like they've got this, like, under control, or is there something I could do to help?
Um, well, so the bleeding has stopped, and Juliet has already started giving Nux some of her blood. Um, the issue is though, if Nux is gonna be an anchor again, he has to sleep to heal that wound.
Okay. Well, damn.
Yeah. Um. So, but the keeper actually pulls you aside, and oh geez, I gotta remember this accent now. He says, uh, there may be a bigger problem. You may need more than one anchor.
Okay.
If you trust the other two, I suggest they also go with you.
Well, they wouldn't be here if I didn't trust them, but how do I know they're going to be safe?
You don't.
William is grappling with the reality that the easiest thing for everybody might be if he just has a little bit of final death. But at the same time, life is too sweet. Okay. Are the others there?
Yeah. Juliet is she's like, cause she had like ripped part of her shawl to like, or she had taken her shawl off to stop the bleeding. So she's like taking the shawl off to make sure that it stopped bleeding. And Rose is there holding Nux's hand.
Should I look at the keeper? Maybe this should wait until he's better. We can't just dive right back in, can we?
Well, he could, if he could heal himself, then yes, you can.
I try to gauge the others. Like, are Rose and Juliet like gung ho to do this now, or do they want to wait?
Well, he pulled you sort of aside, and since they're like busy worrying about Nux, they're not necessarily listening to what you're talking about.
I'm sorry, the music is so epic, it's actually thrown me off.
I'm
Um,
sorry.
I
I thought it was fitting.
it is. It's just now's a
It's the music that was playing before you went into your memories in the last game.
um
Continuity.
I'm trying to have a calm moment with the soaring choruses and trumpets. Um
Not supposed
okay.
to be calm.
I will It is not. I will step in, um look at him, look up at Juliet. Will he be all right?
He'll be fine. He just has to. I mean, he'll be fine whether he sleeps or not, but the wound is not going to close unless he goes to sleep.
Why didn't he? Is he awake? Is he
Yeah, I'm here.
okay
Just resting my eyes. Could really use a cigarette.
on a submarine?
Well, we don't all breathe in here, so who cares?
The ones who do.
Who
Whatever.
breathes? We're all kindred.
There's got to be blood on this sub somewhere, man. Anyway, so okay, that was not a great first step. And this doesn't represent a lack of faith on your part, Nux, but the keeper says multiple anchors might be a good idea. I don't suppose anybody would like to volunteer to help me out.
I will. Rose just looks up and is like, I guess I owe you one.
Yes, and after this, we'll be square, and you can never hold that over me again. Okay. Okay, then. Do we want to try now, or do we want to wait? I'm imposing on everyone. I am keenly aware,
Sorry, I'm reading the comments and I was chuckling because
right?
Victoria would volunteer.
But that's the future. Dang right.
That is the future. I mean, Artemis would too, but we don't know where she is right now.
Not even sure if that's possible. So, anyway,
Anyway,
what do we do?
well, if you don't mind, if we're going to be doing this again, I would like to not have a hole through the center.
Wouldn't that be
So if
nice?
you don't mind us getting some shut eye, and then we give it a go.
That's fine with me.
Right. Nux sits up. And he walks out to go back to the room where you guys woke up in, where you have your bunks.
Okay.
Right, so you want to just like fast forward, say you guys rest.
Yeah, unless you've got
Um,
a special like scene you have in mind.
no, I mean the keeper just has to make the anchors. Excuse me for Rose and or I'm not the anchors.
The connections.
Their focal point. You know, like how you had your journal made out of clay and Nux had a had a cigarette made out of clay,
Right.
like a focal point.
Speaking of, so if
Yes.
we're all taking a moment to rest and whatnot, I pull out my Requiem journal, start writing, and then stop. Start flipping backward, going back over the memories that I've written, stuff in New Orleans, mostly stuff in New Orleans, and realize that I have no idea how much of this is true. Which, when I think about it, compromises its value as a touchstone. So I'm not sure I need to make a touchstone broken roll,
I would
but
say not yet.
I'm worried about that. Like this could have value, from my experiences, including the false ones, and I'm gonna have a lot of writing to do if I can uncover what really happened. But, this thing from which I take comfort is very compromised, and that's a very unsettling feeling. All right, that's me.
All right. All right, so let's just fast forward a little bit. Y'all rest or do whatever it is you want to do.
As much as the dead need rest.
Juliet meditates and Rose snuggles up in the same bunk with Nux.
Natch. I will meditate.
Uh, so do we roll when you meditate? I can't remember.
Yes, it's a resolve plus composure.
So 7.
Yes. Uh, if I normally, yeah, and I've got it maxed out, so even one success grants a +3 to resolve plus composure rolls for the following day. But if that's a necessity of just getting into the dreamscape, then I probably won't get that bonus.
Oh, you'll get that bonus.
Oh, cool. Awesome. All right, cool. So,
Okay. So you all reassemble in the room that has the slabs. Now there are 4. Um, the Tismanu is standing at where your heads are going to be, and the keeper is waiting by the doorway. You all walk in, all lay down, and the Tismanu says to close your eyes. Trying to remember exactly how this all went, but and he says to focus on your breathing, and you're going to uh we're going to count down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You Why is the music not playing?
I hear it.
Oh, okay. No, it's just me that can't hear it. Aw. Okay. So, when you open your eyes, you are in the streets of New Orleans. William, you stand there as yourself. Next to you is Juliet, but kind of like overlaid her face is Trevor's face, which is the frat boy friend of Rose who has been possessed by so many ghosts you can't even keep count. Uh whose weapon of choice is a baseball bat. That pretty much explains Trevor. Just think of the most frat boy jockey guy you can think of and you've got Trevor.
He's technically a mortal, but for
Right.
the sake of
Um
Sheriff Donovan, he's considered one of my go-getters because of his masquerade breaking experiences, but willingness to cooperate and me taking responsibility for him.
yep. And next to you is Rose, but kind of overlaid is her face is Callie, who is the Sailor Moon Princess the Hopeful.
We were using Princess the Hopeful at the time. We'll probably make it more like she's a adapted mage of some kind. But yes,
Yeah.
she has weird powers.
Yes, weird yeah, weird different powers. Callie is Rose's best friend and they were actually living in Callie's parents' house cuz her parents died and she got the house, and they were living there throughout college together
So we're
with
in.
Callie's Callie's tad Nosferatu boyfriend Josu.
Yes, terribly
Yes.
handsome, but he makes you depressed
Terribly
if you're around
handsome,
too
but
long.
the longer you spend with him, the more depressed and alone you feel. That's his unfortunate Nosferatu thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yes, the child of one of the big three power struggle people bear in cemetery in New Orleans.
We're pretty sure we pronounced
Anyway,
that right. So you said New Orleans,
well,
but when you say New Orleans, do you mean Bourbon Street? Do you mean Callie's house? Do you mean the
you're
CBD?
on one of the streets, like near Bourbon Street, but it's not Bourbon Street.
So
Um,
we're in like the touristy Old Town French
yes,
Quarter.
yes.
Yeah.
No, sorry, you're not. This took place in, I believe, Storyville.
Ooh.
You are standing with Trevor and Callie. Nux is nowhere to be seen. And in front of you is an ambulance, a fire truck, and a burning cross. And you
Oh shit.
see fire trucks suddenly rush off in two separate directions, one towards Jackson Square and one towards where like the garden district would be. Callie Rose looks at you and she's like, "We have to go to the Jackson Square one right now.
Yeah, that's the
I
one where.
remember what happens here."
Well, if you do, I'm following your lead.
Okay. So the three of you run off to Jackson Square.
I'm keeping an eye open for any of those like staticky distortion. This is where your memories don't match effects.
Yep. I don't see any while you're racing there. Once you get there in front of the St. Louis Cathedral, can't
Same as, yeah.
remember names. Yeah. The big cathedral that's in Jackson Square is a burning cross, and on that burning cross is Nux playing himself.
Great. That's just what he needs right now. Rush in, try to be heedless of the flame, and pry him off. Um, let's see. Is there? I definitely have to make a resolve plus composure against frenzy because I might have made peace with the flames now, but I'm pretty sure I hadn't
No,
then.
you didn't then. You kind of just ran in there to save him back then.
Hmm. Which was a big old motivator to learn how to make peace with the flames.
Yup.
Okay, so resolve plus composure is 7. Plus
Plus
3
3.
for the meditation
Yep.
bonus, so 10.
I already rolled for you. You're doing fine. Oh, damn it. Forgot to hit. All right. Spotify, why can't you, when I click repeat one song once, you just continue to do that for me? Anyway. Okay. So, yes, you're doing fine. You're calm as a cucumber.
All right. Yank the nails out that are whatever's pinning him to this cross
Yep,
and
the
just
nails.
haul him off of it.
Yep. And you guys fall off. And then if you do recall what happened next,
Do I? I don't know what I recall.
recall what you remember.
I remember we got him off and like put out the flames. Um
Artemis was there.
yeah. Um I remember we put him out.
And then
I
you
re-
told him.
I don't remember.
You were trying to like play because there was like a crowd of people around, and Artemis was trying it as like the cop on the scene to keep everybody calm and quiet and like, please back away, back away. And you were saying how it was like, ha ha ha, it's just some kind of weird prank, ha ha, it's performance art. See, he's fine. And then you were like, just fucking stand up.
That's right.
And Nux was like, I was almost on fire, god damn it.
I'm like, yes, walk it off, bitch. You're already dead. Hand up.
Yep.
Shout out the crowd. David Blaine's got nothing. Woo! This is relevant to society.
Yeah, why don't we get back to the plaster arms, yeah? Okay? Yeah, let's go do that.
Woo! Woo! Go through crowd. Fortunately, the Plast Arms is like less than a block away, so
Yep. So you head over to the plaster arms, which is
throw.
also sort of your memory palace.
Mm. Throw him in the bathtub. Turn on the shower.
Yep. I mean, he didn't get on fire because he's got this weird special thing where he doesn't catch as easy as most kindred.
Peace with the flames. But still,
Still, that was
w-
a memory I would have liked to not have relived.
I'm not picking him, man. Why am I remembering this? What happened differently?
Well, you're not going to always pop in a memory that's different. You just are kind of shuffling around and looking at memories.
Great. Well, this is fun.
Well,
you are you okay?
yeah, you know me. Just another day at the office.
Kind of miss the office with this bullshit. Okay.
All right. Well, we're back here where you should have started. Not sure why you didn't start here, but Rose and Juliet look like themselves again.
So does that mean that we're sort of Assassin's Creed desynchronizing from the memory, or
Yeah.
okay?
You like while you're in this room, as soon as you got in it and closed the door, it almost was like, you know what I mean? Like you kind of like were sucked into something, and now it feels like you're in a like nice warm cocoon of safety.
Hmm. Is that like? Or wait, did you say we're still in the Plast Arms?
Yeah,
Like,
you're in your old room at the Plasta Arms.
but because it's a haven, it makes me feel more secure.
Yeah, plus this is like where you're gonna build your memory palace. So like certain objects and things in the room are gonna be certain memories.
I wonder if finding locations that I feel unsteady about and creating this feeling in them is going to help expand my zone of control in my subconscious. Hmm. I mean, theoretically, everything we're experiencing here counts as a memory. It's all mine, William says, like a Ventrue. Um, so really, we're just trying to find a way to lay claim to all of it. Explore the wilderness. Hmm. Okay. Well, how do we move on to the next one?
Uh, pick an object, open the door. I don't know.
Pick a door at random and open it up.
Okay. As you open the door, there is a weird flash, and you find yourself laying on your back in some grass, looking up at the sky. When you sit up to look around, you see your old coterie mate, Louis, who is actually now Nux. You see Serena, who has been replaced by Juliet. You see your old coterie mate Becky Lynn, who is Rose, and then you see Tina, who's just Tina, and Edward.
That's right. Dylan hated
That was
being
all
old
6 of
Eddie.
you, right?
Yeah.
That was all 6 of you, wasn't it? Yeah. Yep, your original coterie. On the night you were all first made kindred.
We're in Louis Armstrong Park
Yep.
in Tremay,
In Tremay.
which means any second now, what's his nuts? The priest is going to show up. What was his name?
Father John Marrow.
Yeah. So Father Marrow should show up.
Yep. So you see walking towards the group of the 6 of you,
I remember
Father John Marrow.
we were
It's hard
super
for me.
thirsty.
Yeah,
Are
it's
we
hard for me to run this because I didn't run it back
fine? They don't need to know that.
then.
Um, we had just been embraced, so we were all pretty damn
Mhm.
thirsty and pretty damn scared. How do I feel?
You feel like you did back then. Confused, scared, thinking you might have been drugged.
Not realizing what we were, obviously.
Right.
Okay.
You know what? Scratch that. Father John Marrow is not approaching just yet.
Okay. I'm gonna see that as a flicker of him, and then it's gone, and like, okay, that's weird.
So that's not a that's not a memory fluke. That's a GM.
All right.
So Becky Lynn, who is Rose, sits up and does anybody else remember how we got here? And suddenly, as you try to remember, you find yourself, everything shifts around you, and you find yourself sitting at a bar off of Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras in New Orleans. What year was it that you were turned? 2002?
Something like that.
Something like that. Whatever year it was you were originally turned. And you are sitting at a bar. You were here in New Orleans because you were taking I think you were like doing like a special study abroad sort of kind of a thing
From the
in New
University of
Orleans.
Chicago.
Yeah. Yep. Through the University of Chicago, you were studying at Tulane for a special kind of thing.
Do I have a pulse?
Yep. You even reflect in the mirror. And you're sitting at the bar, and as you're sitting there, uh Rose, Juliet, and Nux are here, but they look like they're ghosts. They haven't taken on anybody's memory, any person in your memory's persona for this memory. And as you sit at the bar and look to the bar stool next to you, you get that weird like staticky like zzz, zzz.
I'm gonna try a wits plus resolve roll. See if I can see through this, like will my way through whatever's trying to be blocked.
Do you like the song choice?
I
Only
do.
human.
I do. So is that what I'm doing? Is that working or
Well, what is your wits plus?
wits plus resolve is 8.
Okay. So as you are trying to see or rework the static or whatever it is you're trying to do, you start to see the shape of a very thin woman dressed in a scantily clad purple and green and yellow dress, long blonde hair, perfectly manicured nails, pale.
Pearl?
You're, yep. You start to see her form sitting in the bar stool next to you.
Does she say anything? Like, I'm trying to, like, clear the static so I can hear if she's talking to me or looking at me or anything like that.
Yes. So as you try to clear the static more and more, like you focus on her and try to remember her. And as you're trying to remember her, it becomes clearer and clearer. And you hear her say, "Well, William, I'm really glad that we've gotten to know each other over these last few nights.
I'm
I find your field of study fascinating." I almost said it like Dr. Michaels.
Thank you, not many people do. What am I drinking?
What was William's drink of choice when he was human?
He wasn't one to drink heavily.
So you probably have just a Coke.
Look up in that reflection behind the bar. Does she have one or is that staticked out too?
She's got one, but as you know, she could have one because,
Spend a point of willpower.
yup. Um, while you're sitting there, Nux and Rose are trying to like get your attention, and Juliet's trying to like stop them from causing a scene because they don't want to disrupt your memories too badly. But
Uh,
then you
oh,
hear Rose, "Perception! Look around!" What is your perception?
8 with 8 again.
Okay. As you are perusing the crowd, you see two familiar faces. One you don't recognize quite as quickly because every time you've seen this person, her hair is different. It's Sarah Cobbler, the Ordo responsible for you and the rest of your original coterie being turned that night in New Orleans. And you see her briefly, like a flash of her face, and then her head turns. Tonight she's got purple hair. And she disappears into the crowd. But another face that you'll never probably forget, Josephine, is in the crowd, and it looks like she's stalking you.
Is there any Can I tell the difference between the construct and a memory?
Yes, this is a memory. She seems, because when you see the construct feels like think of like if you were like playing a video game today, a character in the video game would be of the like, it would look like
It's
Super Mario,
yeah,
but not as
it's
different.
it's the difference between an NPC and a PC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely looks different.
A PC is wearing a Technicolor Dreamcoat and jumping all over the place and doing weird dance moves in the middle of a tavern where everybody else is just drinking.
Yeah.
There's a weirdness.
Yes, there's a weirdness about the construct. You remember that much from the two times you've encountered it.
Now, the point of me being here is to remember things as they were and to play along with them, right?
So the point of you being in the memories is to try to, so every memory you have to live it out the way you remember it, and when you see that static, it means that the way you remember it is incorrect. And you
But
have to try to break through the static
I
to
don't
figure
remember
out
this
what's
at all.
correct. Right, cuz you're breaking through the static.
Okay, so break through the static and try to live it the way it happened.
Mhm.
Okay.
You seem awfully distracted tonight, William.
Does that create a distortion, you're desynchronizing effect?
Yeah, like you're figuring out this is how it happened. And when you saw Josephine, um, you you know that that's what really happened, except you didn't remember it. And you know now, seeing her face, that for the past few nights you've been seeing this woman around.
Just feel like I picked up a shadow is all.
Oh, well, do tell. Who do you think is the shadow?
See that lady back there?
I do.
Just seeing her around more than a couple of times. A little fixated on me. A little weird. Then again, this town's really different from Chicago.
It's really different from a lot of towns. That's why I love it so much.
I am trying really hard to remember these previous nights she's referring to.
Those you don't quite remember just yet. Like you get flickers and flashes, like how when sometimes you get flickers and flashes with Juliet in the real world. Like you get flickers and flashes of like how you met Pearl was you were walking down the street with a bunch of books and she accidentally bumped into you and your books fell and she helped you pick them up. Um, and then you remember like having coffee with her. You remember walking with her down the streets at night. Um, you suddenly feel that the need to go to the restroom.
Uh, do you mind if I just absent myself for 1 second? I'll be right back.
No, take your time.
Get up, walk through the crowd, eyes on Josephine for one moment.
You don't see her anymore. As you make your way back towards the bathroom, there is nobody in the hallway, and suddenly you feel a tap on your shoulder. And when you turn around, it's Josephine, but suddenly you have no control over your mind. And she tells you, you're going to meet me in Louis Armstrong Park at 11 p.m. tonight. And then as soon as you come to, she's gone and you can't remember. Like you remember that you broke this memory and that you were talking with Pearl, but the way you felt in real life at this moment was you don't remember Pearl or any of it. So it's a weird, like, conflicting thought in your head.
Do I make a choice about which one is real?
Yeah, you can make a choice.
Well, obviously this happened. I'm going with this.
Suddenly Nux is next to you. All right there, pal.
Think we're breaking one.
Okay, well, good. Good on you.
Okay. This is it. This is the night. This was the
Is it?
last. This is the last time I was human.
Oh,
Haunting thought. Like Williams shook.
yeah, sorry, mate.
I have to keep telling myself this isn't real and I can't change this.
Well, hey, if you did change it and you didn't become you know, like me, we would have never met, and that would have been a shame.
Yeah, I just
And who would have saved Rose?
you.
Well, I wouldn't have been part of the little group.
It feels a little self-aggrandizing if I say that it's such a good thing that I became what I became so that I could save the day.
Hey, look, everything happens for a reason, okay?
God,
You gotta stop. No, no.
you're implying there's a plan.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be a plan made by a higher being, does it?
I'm gonna listen to the chat. This does totally sound like a breaking point. That is, I couldn't agree more.
Yep.
Um, okay, resolve plus composure. I'm gonna be rolling that a lot.
10?
Uh,
10?
I think so. I don't know. It's a humanity roll, not a frenzy roll.
Oh, alright, so then just 7.
If you say 7, I believe 7.
Well, because
It's
it's usually 7, but
well,
it's 10.
you roll your humanity dice based on like what
Okay,
level of a break it is.
alright, you've got your character sheet.
Let's
Tell
call
me.
it 5.
Okay. You're hanging on.
Okay.
Uh, you're hanging on. Nux's words are having an impact on you.
I know what I am, and I know what my blood makes me want to be. And I know I come off like a really arrogant asshole sometimes, and that's 40% me, 60% what it
Look,
tells me I should be.
mate, you can't be this good looking and not be an arrogant asshole. I know.
Thanks.
Alright, well, you think you've cracked this memory?
I don't know. Maybe there's more. How am I supposed to know when I've found everything there is to find?
Well, what do you remember doing after you got whammied by Josephine?
I don't remember that in the first place. And I didn't remember Pearl at all, which means I don't know what happens with Pearl next. And I don't know if I went straight to Louis Armstrong Park. That's, I was just
So,
told later tonight.
right, in your memory, so now you've got the dual memories. You've got the memory that was faked, which was you sitting at the bar alone, going to the bathroom, and then all of a sudden feeling a need to go to Louis Armstrong Park. The real memory was you sitting at a bar with Pearl, having to go to the bathroom, and then suddenly having an urge to go to Louis Armstrong Park and not really remembering sitting at the bar with Pearl, just sitting at the bar. But now you know what really happened and what was faked.
I'm just going to go through the motions of this memory until we snap somewhere fresh.
All right.
So I'll be right back. I'm going to go remember what it's like to piss.
Have fun.
So yeah, go to the bathroom, come back out, return to the bar if unless something's interrupting me.
No, so after you go to the bathroom, you headed over to Louis Armstrong Park.
Didn't even say bye to Pearl.
No, because you didn't remember she was there.
Looking now, did she react or did I even notice to remember it?
Um, so as you are walking out and you look back to see if she's still there, she's actually not there anymore.
Either she left or I just didn't notice, so it wouldn't be a part of this memory. Either way, she's not there. I have to remember that this isn't a fully formed organic world. The
Right,
human mind fills in a lot of blanks, but it you can't always trust what those blanks are compared to what you directly remember seeing, which is itself super biased.
right.
This is very therapeutic, Ashley. So,
What I'm here for, friend.
okay, proceed.
Okay. All right. So as you start walking to the door to go to Louis Armstrong Park, You open the door to walk out the bar and you find yourself standing in Louis Armstrong Park, except you know that this is not the night. This is a different night. Because while you're standing there, you are standing close to a bench and a trash can. And digging through the trash can, or sorry, picking up trash and putting it in the trash can, is a very old kindred that you know and trust dearly. The Native American vampire Sam, who is old as dirt.
Balls.
He's old as balls. He was here in New Orleans before
New Orleans.
anybody. Yeah, before New Orleans was New Orleans.
Am I
He's probably the oldest living freaking kindred in New Orleans
kindred
or
again?
anywhere possibly, huh?
Am I kindred again?
Yeah, you're kindred again. To help jog your memory, well, Kevin's memory, night that you confronted Sam because you had found out that he was there the night you were all turned. And when you look around, Josephine and I'm not sorry, not Josephine, too many J's. Juliet and Rose are by you, like ghost like. And when you see Sam turn his face, it's Nux underneath.
Why didn't you stop them?
It is not my place to meddle.
I'm sorry, but a handful of fresh kindred being taken all at the same time against their will. How do you justify the power that you have if you don't use it to try to help people?
Everything has to happen for a reason. You will understand that one day.
I'm looking for the static.
So there's no static. However, you do feel like the ground starts to feel a little uneasy and you all start to feel a little queasy. Um as you all sort of like fall backwards. But then you like fall back but then like pop right back up and you're in Louis Armstrong Park still. Sam is there, but he's sort of far away. And sorry, I'm trying to like switch the music and talk at the same time. It's a lot to handle. Um Sam is far away and Juliet is standing next to you and she goes, "Oh no." And she is suddenly rushed to where Sam is and she's standing there. And it's almost like you guys are moved together so you can hear what they're saying. And as you are moved together, you become Sam.
Okay.
And Juliet stands there, and it's like she's trying to fight it. She doesn't want to say what she's gonna say in this memory, but she doesn't have a choice
I'm forcing
because
it
it's
out
a
of her.
memory. Yes, but it's not your memory. It's not you who's forcing it out. It's just that so you remember when you first did this and you tried to change the memory the way it never was, real or fake, and
And
you
it just,
just rewinded back to the beginning?
yeah, just snap me back.
Yeah. Like you're able to talk to your anchors to try to figure things out, but if you outright try to change anything that doesn't have to do with your anchors,
Yeah, it takes me back
you
to the
snap
point of
back.
divergence.
Yep.
Okay.
So you can tell that Juliet doesn't want to have this conversation, but she doesn't have a choice. And she says, she walks up to Sam and she says, "You knew I was coming, didn't you?"
I'm just trying to flow with whoever's memory this is. I
It's
can't.
Sam.
How do
If
I?
it helps, Sam is agreeable because Sam knows a lot of things. Um, and she says, I've told you what I've seen, and I know you're gonna want to stop what's gonna happen here, but you can't.
Mm.
You know it's the right thing to do. Oh, Kevin. Maybe it's the wrong thing to do.
I know it's the what?
It's the right thing to do. And from there, hang on a second. Um, you hear Josephine's voice saying, isn't it funny how the people you always choose to trust just lie to you? And suddenly, you are shifted away from here, away from Louis Armstrong Park, and you find yourself in Pearl's bedroom on what was, in your memory, your first date with her. However, now you know it wasn't actually your first date with Pearl. And you're in her bedroom like you were before, walking around, looking around. She's getting ready in the bathroom. Um, Nux and Rose are standing there, but Juliet is now playing the part of Pearl.
I seem to recall things went very well on our first date.
Yes, but you also saw something that caused you to have questions if you don't recall.
The picture.
Hmm.
There was a picture of a guy, 200 older, years old, years from years ago. And it was a guy who looked just like me.
Yep. And as you were looking at that picture, Pearl steps out in a nice, form fitting, long black evening dress. Well, are you ready for our date?
If you don't mind my asking, who's that?
Oh. She walks over to the picture like she did in your memory. Um, well, this was my sire.
I notice you use the past tense.
He died a very long time ago. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going into British, and she's Southern. He died a very long time ago.
I'm sorry. I can't help but notice a certain resemblance.
Well, yes, that's what drew me to you originally.
And now?
Well, and now I'm just drawn to you for you because honestly, you may look like him, but you are nothing like he was. Which is actually a good thing.
What was he like?
He
If
had
that's.
a hunger for power.
Ah,
I'm sorry I didn't tell you about him.
well, I would have asked if I had known the same thing I'll ask now. Sounds like you already know, but you do realize I'm not him.
No, you're not. But when those you love are gone, don't you wish you could bring them back? And from there, hang on a second. Everything fades away, and you find yourself in um the New Orleans like morgue area where in a very familiar scene where your friend Artemis, who is now Nux, but laying on the table, dying from a supernatural disease. Your
We've had
old
a few of
friend
those.
Soros, huh?
We've had a few of those.
Yeah, this is the one that like mocked an actual human virus called Chickpea.
Yeah.
Um, but it affected Artemis accidentally got infected with it and it took effect immediately and she's dying. But your old friend Soros next to you, now Juliet, and Callie, Rose, are next to you, and in your hand is the antidote.
It was an auto injector gun.
Mm-hmm.
Administered it to her, hoping and hoping and hoping it would work.
William,
You okay?
I think I will be.
Well, that's fast. Good.
How did you find the antidote? And from there, you are brought the basement of what was thought to be an abandoned factory. Standing next to you is Soros slash Juliet and Callie slash Rose, and you are in this basement where there are all these cages of either dead or mostly dead supernatural beings. To help you, this is where you found that antidote.
I didn't have it yet, did I?
No, you did not. You were looking for it.
Right. Um. Okay, yeah, I was looking for it, not just for Artemis, but for the ones here who weren't dead yet. I remember. There was we were looking for like the doctors or scientists or who had made this, and they were all gone, and the place looked like it had been left in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You guys decided to start in the basement and then you worked your way up to the offices.
yeah. Uh, search for the antidote.
All right. So once you exhausted the basement area, but all of you made your way up to the second floor, which was the offices. And there was a particular office um, that you thought you should try first. You just had a feeling.
Yeah,
And you're in the office, and as you were searching through it, you happen to find a safe with the antidote in it. However, now, rethinking about this memory, when you go into this office, it's staticky.
the whole thing or parts of it.
As you approach the door, it's staticky.
I'm gonna try to clear away the static as best I can. Start with the stuff that doesn't matter. The walls still would have been the walls. The windows still would have been the windows. The door still would have been the door. The knob would have been the knob.
So it's before you entered the door,
Yeah,
before you even went in that office, that it got staticky.
approach it. Like whatever the static is, it's trying to keep me away from what did happen. So pursuing the static is the right way every time.
All right. So as you approach the door, are you going to try to open the door like you remember doing?
I'll futz around with this a little bit. I'll listen at the door, feel a handle for heat.
Nothing. It's still just very staticky.
Open the door.
Staticky.
Like complete static, or can I make out shapes inside?
Nope, it's all static. It's your memory, but like as if there was like, you know, like when a TV used to go static, but not completely like black and white static, like you could still see the picture,
Yeah.
but it was
Yeah.
like staticky, fuzzy.
I'm picturing
Back
like
back in the
sunspots.
day. Yeah.
I'm picturing like sunspots in my eyes in all those areas that
Yeah.
sort of
So like
won't
you could
make
still see the room, but there's like something over it.
Um, hmm. I'm
Oh,
gonna try.
William.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna
What you
try
want to try?
rolling some wits plus resolve or something to try to clear
Is
it.
that 10? No,
Wits plus resolve is 8.
8. Okay. So, everything you've tried so far, it's not working. And then you think back to what you remember. You remember just having a feeling to go in this office as you were walking by it. But why would you even feel that? That's not something William gets or feels. As you were walking by it is when you felt that feeling.
Look around. Anyone? Anything? I'll make a perception roll.
As you were
That'll
walking by it is key.
yeah. I'm gonna rewind the memory back to the point of divergence. Zip,
Okay.
and I'm gonna make a perception roll.
So are you
That's
going to
8.
try walking by the door?
Yes, I'm rewinding back to the point where I would have
Okay.
gotten that feeling,
Okay.
and maybe even a couple seconds before. And perception is 8 with 8 again, and I'm gonna like look around to see if there's static anywhere else, something that I might have seen but discounted, or something that I saw but it's been pushed away from me.
Okay. So as you walk by the door, like you did, and you had that feeling, when you have that feeling, you stop. And as you're looking around, you notice when you look at the door that there is a figure hanging onto the door frame. And the more you focus on that figure, the more it becomes clear that it's Mezzo, the Morbus Ordo, who is the sister of Sarah Cobbler, the one who was responsible for all you all getting turned that night. And she says, "It's in here."
Why didn't they remember? I look at her and say, "What are you doing here?"
I don't have enough time to explain.
"Well, come with us. We can help you too."
That'll just put a target even more on your back. Quick, come in here.
Come with her.
She opens up the safe and hands you the antidote. It's Savoy and Josephine that you can't trust. Sarah is not as bad as she seems. And suddenly you hear an earth shattering scream, like a high pitched screech. And it seems like everything around you was a mirror, and it shatters, and you guys fall into the Trevor's New Orleans frat house at Tulane.
Oh God,
Rose
it's
is
Lil John.
Rose. Rose is Rose. Nux is Callie. You are Josu. And Juliet is Trevor. And Rose, Callie, and Josu are standing at this party as Trevor walks by and he goes, "Oh, you guys made it! Awesome! Nice to see you, Rose, Callie, and oh, I mean, hey man, how's it going?" Rose is just like, "Oh, why do I have to relive the memory of Trevor getting a crush on Josu?"
I have to relive the feeling of getting crushed on, except I'm not reliving it. I can't remember if I was there.
No, this is my memory.
Oh,
We were here because of that whole drug thing. What was it? Black H?
oh, it was ink then.
Right.
The eye
There's been so
drops
many
that,
supernatural drugs and viruses, it's hard to keep track.
well, there was basically an ectoplasmic drug ring going around, right?
Yeah. I wish that we could have found out what Mezzo was trying to tell you.
Well, maybe we can find her yet. But we know Savoy was partly responsible for trying to engineer that plague.
Yeah. A few plagues, if I recall.
Josephine had her fingers in everything, it seemed like, at least from my perspective. That's why we're here. Sarah Cobbler, I'm trying to imagine how she's not so bad. I mean, she is Mezzo's sister, so I can't imagine how my voice starts melting down to sound like Josu. I can't imagine how he started to try to be good in any kind of way.
Okay, we need to get out of this memory because it is just screwing with my head.
Is this the part where Trevor's going to talk about how he'll make out with anybody?
Hey, yeah, we got the makeout room over there where anybody can make out with anybody. Yeah. Hey, dudes. He just
I'll
walks
make
away.
out with anybody. I'll make out with her. I'll make out with him. No, whatever.
What?
Brush it off.
Okay, I'm leaving. Rose just walks to the front door. She grabs you and pushes you through it, thinking that hopefully that will trigger one of your memories. Also, by the way,
Yeah.
when I first heard this, when I first played the song, this is the song they have in 10 Things I Hate About
Oh,
Commandments.
I know.
At Pharaoh High.
No doubt.
No doubt. Alright, as you walk through the door,
Moses, Moses,
Moses,
Moses.
Moses.
Ooh, good song.
Okay, so as you walk through, as Rose pushes you, let's be accurate here, through this door, you find yourself um in the hospital at New Orleans, and it's one of the wings that is sort of quiet. It even has some of the lights that like are constantly flickering, and next to you is a storage closet that you hear rustling coming out of.
Is this my memory?
This is your memory. Next to you is Rose slash Serena, Louis slash Nux, and I think Becky Lynn might have been there too, or it could have been Edward maybe. Probably was Edward, so Edward slash Juliet.
Yeah, Becky Lynn was spending all her time with Matheson.
Yes, she was. Yeah, after you connected the two of them, she was. And this is after. This was after all of you figured out who your sires were, and Vidal made you decide whether or not you were going to become Lankia at Sanctum. And then after that, there was a party where all the big kindred names were at, and Sarah Cobbler was also there, spreading blood on doorknobs, which was also spreading NOS, which was the New Orleans syndrome disease that affected kindred.
Mm-hmm.
And you were told you needed to find someone named Mezzo.
Storage cabinet is rattling.
Closet. Yep.
Storage closet, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Rubber gloves. Open doorknob.
So in it is Mezzo, and if you recall, she was really sick and like coughing up the blood. She couldn't like keep it in.
Mezzo, are you okay?
She couldn't talk, because you guys had figured out back then that like she was of the bloodline morbus, and that the diseases that she had inside her were eating away at her.
Right.
And the only way to save her was you guys had to get the blood out.
Sarah, at least as we recall Sarah, uh, we thought she was the one who was basically using Mezzo to cook up a sickness so powerful it would kill even a Morbus.
That's what you guys found out back then.
Right. Okay. Um, we made the call not to drain out her blood the old-fashioned way. We were in a hospital and we
Right.
figured out how to use the phlebotomy equipment nearby to drain it out of her.
Yeah, because you guys didn't want to risk catching the diseases.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you did that, and then she was able to talk to you.
Yeah, we had to hold her down, like, because she was gonna hunger frenzy, even though she was weak. I seem to recall we like
I think you
wrapped her
guys
up.
also I think you guys also did feed her some of your blood to like
Uh,
get her to be coherent.
we didn't give her our blood. We gave her blood from the blood bank that was on site, with all the phlebotomy
Right.
equipment.
Yeah.
But we did like drain her out and hold her down, and I think we had her wrapped in a body bag or something to like help keep her contained and to protect us from any potential
Yeah.
contact vectors.
Yeah.
Um, just minimizing. Um, but yeah, we drained her down. Erica says we had a chance for Diablerie and missed it. One,
Oh, there
Diablerie,
was diablerie in that game.
there was. Diablerie is not worth it. Never even once. Some traditions are there for a reason.
Yeah.
Uh,
The interesting side note, the side effect of the diablerie that happened in our game was the kindred who did the diablerizing was then had not only her soul inside of her, but also the soul of the vampire she diablerized, who was a serial killer. So,
puppeting her around.
yep,
And gets even better. That one managed to last longer than you should after being Diablerized.
yep. Fun
Anyway,
side note.
so oh, it's way more than you bargained for. Diablerie always
Well,
is.
even when he was like exorcised out of her, he hung around and then possessed Trevor. He was one of the ones who possessed Trevor. Ah,
That's
poor
not
Trevor.
funny. Turned him into a serial killer for a minute.
I know. Trevor got possessed by so many.
Poor Trevor was
But
basically the theme of that campaign.
yeah, it was
Um
poor Trevor.
so, okay.
Anyway, so
Um
okay.
so we drained out the blood, we put fresh blood in her. Obviously that wasn't going to cure her.
Right.
She's morbus. She's made of sick.
Yeah.
But we were able to remove enough of the tainted blood that it was going to take a while for it to overcome this batch as well.
Right. Well, I think that you took out the tainted blood, so therefore removed that particular disease.
For the moment, there was some weird kindred magic fuckery at work there. To quote the director and the scriptwriter from 28 Days Later, with an alternate ending where the cure to infection was to drain out all the blood and have a full body transfusion. I believe they said something along the lines of, "Now here's where we got stuck because how the flying fuck are you going to sterilize the inside of a human? What, you gonna put alcohol through him first and then you put the fresh blood in?" Anyway, so this is how the rest of the movie goes.
I swear I just read in the book though that she was actually you got the disease out of her if you drained it.
We did. I'm just, justifying.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So,
Take it from a
once
game
you
designer. Just because we write it doesn't mean it's always a good idea.
once you have drained the blood, she's calmish now and she can sort of talk to you.
Who did this to you?
I don't think I should tell you.
I'm getting static, aren't I?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mezzo. It doesn't mean we're going to punish them, but if we're going to get to the bottom of this, find a cure, find a solution, save lives, we need to know.
Okay. So as you're talking to her, the static just kind of breaks away really quick. And
Ha!
she sits there and she goes, I don't have a lot of time to tell you. But it was Savoy. He forced Sarah's hand. And right then
How?
and there, you hear Josephine's voice saying, not supposed to tell. And then all of a sudden, Mezzo coughs up a bunch of blood in all of your faces. And you can't see for a moment. And when you open your eyes up again, you are standing in a park. Rose and Juliet are like ghosts. Ux is standing in front of you in a nice button up shirt and pants with his hair all clean cut. His nails are not painted black. He does not have any makeup on. You're standing in, um, oh, what's that part? Kensington Gardens in London. And you, William, are dressed in a nice long dress skirt that goes down to your ankles with a nice blouse on. On your left hand is an engagement ring, and you are standing in front of Nux, and he just goes, "Oh bloody hell!"
So were you a chain smoker back then too?
No, I do not smoke as a human.
So that's something you picked up later.
Yeah, okay, you know what? This is just fucking weird. I don't want to do this. I don't want to relive this one.
I
Nope.
thought you said I was incredibly handsome.
Oh, this is not funny.
Would it help if I
Um,
made it a little funny?
as you guys are continuing to try to talk, it's almost like really hard to say what you want to say,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like you're gonna have to start saying what the memory was. And Nux just like he's rolling his eyes or trying really hard to roll his eyes. And he says, Araya, I don't have a choice. But I promise I will come back to you. And all of a sudden you hear gunshots firing in the background and explosions. And suddenly there's a huge explosion of fire, and all of you are thrown backwards, and you land hard on a concrete floor in an old abandoned warehouse um, with uh, Artemis is there, but it's Nux. Soros is there, but it's Juliet. Callie is there, but it's Rose. And you hear a man laughing as explosions of fire are coming from the ceiling.
Oh no, 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 no. Not now. Not here. Please tell me I misremembered this.
What's going on?
This is the night I killed someone.
Oh shit.
Oh, please, please, please tell me this was a fake memory. Please, 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 please.
Uh, uh, a
Ex-
fire explodes right
ex-
by you
explosions of fire. I must roll for frenzy because
Yep.
I did frenzy then.
Because you did frenzy then.
Okay, I've got a. I didn't have 10 at the time. I wasn't as good at meditating, so call it 7.
You didn't pass it then. You don't pass it now. Yep, you can feel the beast rising up inside of you, and you smell blood. Because unfortunately, this criminal serial killer cut himself.
Yes, yes, but maybe it was fear. Maybe it could have been fear because the beast also feels fear. Maybe I just ran.
Nope, you did not. You ran
Oh,
straight for the man as Soros, Artemis, and Callie all tried to stop you. And Artemis almost did, but was too scared to actually hurt you. And so you broke free and you
and
bit down.
I tore out.
You tore out.
Well, humanity roll.
Yes. All right.
Okay. Um yeah, let's see really quick. Uh Impassioned violence, would you say? 2 dice.
You're okay.
Holy crap. Okay,
You were okay then too. You're okay now.
barely.
But as you exhale from having to relive that trauma, you find yourself, I mean, the room starts spinning, and you suddenly find yourself in a graveyard, in an old crypt. And laying before you is an extremely old, extremely dangerous kindred, though you didn't know it at the time. Lying in torpor, the great late Raphael Pope.
Not so late.
Not so late. Um, Nux is just there as like a ghost. Soros and Callie were with you at this time. Callie is Rose, Soros is Juliet.
We were given Savoy gave us a briefcase.
No, not Savoy, Dr. Lazarus, who
Dr. Lazarus, yes.
was the late Dr. Lazarus killed by Artemis.
He is multiple times late.
Yes.
He gave us a briefcase, and in the briefcase was E.
Yep. A
Who was
kindred from St. Charles.
hmm and they had lopped off his arms and his legs.
And they only agreed to heal him if you brought Pope back, but
No,
you
we were
found a
supposed
way
to
around it.
no, we were supposed to feed him to Pope
Oh, that's right. That's right.
to wake him up. And I remember when we opened it up, I was like, "Oh, geez, buddy." So we took him out of the case. I fed him my blood. He's probably still got a light bond to me. And we
Yep.
basically tied down what there was of him so that he wouldn't like frenzy all over us. But I fed him some of my blood, and uh, when he came to, we're like, "Don't worry, pal. You're gonna grow your arms and your legs back. It's gonna be okay. Just we're gonna take care of you. What the fuck happened?" And he explained he was
Just
like captured, kidnapped.
kidnapped.
Um,
And now I'm here.
so we put him in the car, and we were like, "We're gonna get you something to eat,
Yep.
um, so you can grow your shit back." So I went down into the crypt without the others, and there was Pope, and I was like, "Okay."
Of course, you didn't know who Pope was.
No, I just knew he was some elder that we were supposed to dig up, and I wanted to fuck over Lazarus because he was such an obvious bad guy.
Yep. Dr. Lazarus was clearly a shitbag.
Yes, a
And
bag of excrement.
human.
And human. And human. He just had artifacts.
Yep.
Um, so I
Well, so Dr. Lazarus wanted him, but
yes,
so did Cemetery. Because
yes.
Cemetery also approached you and said, I know what he's trying to do.
And we didn't trust either of them, rightly
Yep.
so.
And you needed somewhere to hide him.
So, but I'm here now. That's
You're here
getting
now.
ahead. So I was here now, and what I did was I got the cooler of blood out of the trunk. I gave a whole bunch of it to E. I kept a bunch for myself, had them in my pockets, and I was pulling out blood pouches and drinking while I like bit my wrist and held it over Pope to wake him up and hopefully put a bond on him. Um, he woke up
He woke up.
very hungry, and let's face it, kindred blood is, mad addictive. So he tried to eat my arm, and I just like kept drinking blood to like sate him, and then like just repeatedly used dominate until I managed to calm him down. And then we like, you know, asked who he was and found out his deal. And he'd been there a
Which
while, he
was,
said. Well,
yep,
he
he'd been
said
there a
he
while.
yeah, he said he'd been down there for a long time. I can't remember
Uh,
when he said he went down, but I remember thinking he's gonna need to catch up a lot.
yep. He said that he used to be Lankia at Sanctum and one of Vidal's advisors, but
Yes.
that he started looking into other forms of religion and comparing it to Lankia at Sanctum and kind of got off the beaten path. So him and his followers were taken care of,
Right.
but him and a few of them managed to stay alive. One of them being someone who you knew, which was your coterie mate Becky Lynn's sire, John Harley Matheson.
Which we did not know at the time.
No.
Um, so we got him out of there. We took him to Matheson because we figured he was a good extra political person. Like we'd introduced him to boy to score some points there and sort of keep him relatively neutral. But then about a billion things started happening every second, and one of the things that slipped through our fingers was Matheson and Pope.
And Pope. And yeah, you did not know at the time that Matheson used to be his one of his followers, and that's why he was banned from New Orleans, allowed to live but banned and never allowed to enter NOLA again.
Right.
And what you also didn't know at the time was that Raphael Pope's other explorations dealt with Belial's brood.
Yep. He went through each of the traditional covenants and somehow arrived at Belial's brood.
Yep.
For
And
those
as
of
you
you
are
who follow
thinking,
for those of you who follow Requiem, we use sort of a personal house blend of the original trinity of Belial's brood explanations. I don't think we really use the 2E explanation much.
no, we keep to 1E for
Yeah.
Belial's brood.
I mean,
Made more sense.
we sort of have 2E attached to it, but it's not like the explanation, just
Yeah.
so you know.
Plus our own
So,
little home brew.
but we're here now in the crypt.
Yes.
I've got
And
pockets
as,
full of blood.
yep, and you are remembering all of this, you hear Josephine's voice say, "You never think of the whole picture, do you?" And now you suddenly find yourself whisked away to a dock. Standing in front of you, you have cornered the serial killer, Howard Epps. Different than the one that you killed. The one you killed was a puppet of Howard Epps. And next to Howard Epps is your sire, Josephine.
She had just embraced him,
Yep,
making him my brother.
yep. And she's very curious what you're going to do, William. Kill your own brother.
I had a gun trained on her.
No, not at this point you didn't. That was a different one. You it was when a third virus got released in New Orleans and you tracked her and Sarah Cobbler down when you had the gun trained on her. This one you
Right.
didn't have a gun on her. You just had found Epps because he had escaped from prison and you were trying to find him before he caused any more damage.
Why did you embrace him?
Well, he proved useful, so I thought he should get rewarded. Plus, I'm really curious to see what you'll do with him now that he's family.
You don't think it's a little fucked up to play with somebody's life and soul just to find out what your child will do?
This is what being Ordo is all about, dear boy. I tried to teach it to you, but you just didn't have the stomach.
You know, I can conceive of a million ways we can test our nature without this.
You start to see some static.
I remember what I said was the embrace is a second chance for everyone. As fucked up as that is, it can make killers into saints and saints into killers. Whatever he was, he can be something else. How's the static doing?
It's still staticky.
What is staticky?
The whole scene is staticky. What you remember is you tried to talk to her, and then you tried to capture her, but she got away.
Right.
And Epps was left with you, and then Donovan showed up, the sheriff of New Orleans.
I spoke on Epps' behalf, basically saying whatever this guy was, maybe he can be something new. Because at this point, there's no way for him to pay for the crimes he committed as a mortal. And I don't think I think shortly after that, I found out that Donovan came from a very similar situation. Like,
You
as a
never
result,
found out the true story of Donovan, to your
no, but
knowledge.
I never found out all of it, but I remember him basically saying he was a killer. Um, and that's sort of what
So,
brought him into the orbit of the kindred. So,
yeah. Um, so this whole scene is staticky. All of it.
do I roll to just try to
Yep.
push through it? All right. Wits plus resolve. What do you want me to roll?
Yeah, 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So while you're trying to push through it, you're suddenly remembering another memory. You're not taking there, but you're remembering another memory. While you were trying to find Epps after he broke out, you were left alone because Artemis and Soros went separated from you to go check somewhere else. And Josephine approached you and told you where to find Epps. Excuse me, and then started whispering some other things in your ear, that she would be at the dock, that this is what happened. And you let her get away. So when you got to the dock, that's what you remembered. But what really happened is you got to the dock and Epps was there alone and he was crying. And he had a gun in his hand. And he turned to you and he said, "This isn't gonna work, is it?"
No.
Oh, and also when Josephine was screwing with your memories, she told you he was your brother.
No. No, that won't work.
He told me that this was the right way, that I was doing a service.
Who did?
A man named Anton Savoy. And then she came along and got her paws in all of it. It was all meant to just show you and a man named Donovan the way.
What way? To what end?
Just to show what we're all capable of. But I was fooled. And you gotta kill me.
Why?
Because I can't live like this.
You're not living.
But I'm not dying either. And that's when Donovan pulled up.
Who did this to you?
She never told me her name.
Red hair?
This was all supposed to be to punish him. He looks over at Donovan. Remind him of his sins. But then she came along and I don't know what it was she wanted to prove about you.
Whatever it is you've done, you don't deserve to be used as a pawn in somebody else's games. But what you have done, what makes you think that you shouldn't stick around and try to make it right? You have, theoretically, all the time in the world to make it right. You can start right now. And you can stay that course as long as you have the will and the stomach to do it.
And are you gonna make it right? And from there, you shift and you find yourself back in the Place d'Armes with Nux, Rose, and Juliet. And that's where we're going to end that.
Welcome back, Ashley.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Also, my theme. Nice.
I felt this fit this episode
Oh yeah,
the best.
we're back, baby.
The next
Fuck.
episode, I have it as a subtitle called The True Josephine.
Ooh, Josephine is so full of shit. Oh, I'm gonna challenge people, but I'm also gonna stack the deck. You're missing the whole point. You're such a shitty Ordo. Then again, I think
Well,
most Ordo are shitty.
yeah, I took her to like the extreme.
Oh yeah, we're talking Bill Paxton chasing tornadoes, the extreme.
Yeah, I don't think you had that in mind for her, but that's what I did.
Oh, I love it. That is well that is well within the purview of what I see as being awesomely appropriate. Yeah, no, I'm into it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, but anyway, thank you everybody for joining on my first episode back after tax season. I
Season 2
hope
has begun.
I hope that I hope that this episode was entertaining for everybody.
I'm entertained.
And I hope that everybody liked getting a glimpse of some of William's past. And even some of Nux, Rose, and Juliet, too.
And hey, our viewer count is back up. You were the missing key.
I don't think so. That's
Oh,
flattering.
that's numbers, Miss Accountant.
Um, well, this Tuesday, join us for Jerry at Twitch, Edie and Mavis, and Birdie for sure, possibly Fanny, being their old crazy selves. And 2 weeks from today, my
Tune in.
birthday. But
Yes,
also tune in for you will be running, correct? But
that is
Artemis is
correct.
back.
The other half
Artemis
of
is
Tooth and
back to
Claw.
play. Yeah. And I
There
will be
is
playing with Victoria and LaFontaine.
the triumphant return of Artemis. LaFontaine has reason to go and find his gal, who, according to intercepted reports, is being transferred to and held at a holding facility by Task Force Valkyrie. He and
Again.
Victoria are going to have to find a way to break in and save her from a shadowy arm of the U.S. government, which, according to their contacts, is secretly controlled by vampires. So you can probably expect to see Artemis there. But what will they have done to her?
Oh,
And
jeez.
who will survive? Because, my darlings, my friends, there is no reason to think the characters can't die in this game. Aside from that,
We kill lots of characters.
we really do. Mostly children, in my experience with you.
Stop. That is not true.
It's
Stop.
more true than you like. It's more true than I like.
There was only
So,
like 2 times, and I didn't kill them. They were already dead when you found them, okay?
you're the game master. You kill everyone.
I didn't
Anyway,
kill Nux yet.
see, it's that yet. It's like a dangling participle. It
I don't
bothers
know.
me.
I don't know which way it's gonna go. The
You are just a
characters tell
series of
me where they go.
ellipses.
The characters tell me where they want to go. If Nux wants to go, then Nux will go.
Anyway, uh,
Anyway,
please
thank
do
you all so much for watching. I'm so glad that the numbers went up for my return.
please feel
That
free.
makes me feel really happy. um oh, Kevin left. But anyway, to all of you watching, feel free to check out our website, which I have added to the about section there's like a welcome page and it says check out our website. So we've got our website there. I added it a few days ago. It's there for everybody to peruse and enjoy. Also, there's a link for our stream schedule, our Facebook, our Twitter,
There's a
and
lot of ways for you to reach us, and we would like you to reach out to us. Let us know what you'd like to see more of. Do you want us
well,
to start a Patreon? Who would you like us to interview on Shop Talk and Crit Chicks? What kinds of shows or games would you like us to add to the program? And is there anything you'd like to see in the shows and programs we currently have? We are very open to your suggestions, your wishes, your wish lists. Tell us what you want. We're here to live. We're here to serve.
yep, and we will also be starting an Instagram soon, so keep an eye out
Woo.
for the Instagram. Plus, a few other interesting shows will be coming.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll get on board with the kids and start a TikTok.
No, no. Maybe
That's
Edie and Mavis can start a TikTok.
oh sweet merciful Jeebus.
Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that my first episode back was entertaining enough to entice you to come see the Memories episode 2.
There better be more. I've been waiting. All right,
Have
we won't keep you any longer. Get
Nope.
to your shows, drink some water, say hi to your folks, all that good stuff. We love you. Keep wearing a
Love
mask.
you.
Mwah.
Bye-bye.